Okay, now in this mini lecture, we're going to do another chi-square test of independence to assess whether owning an iPad and gender are related to one another. Recall in the last mini lecture that we already had the table, or I'm sorry, we already had the data put into a cross-tabulation table for us. We're going to do exactly the same test. We should get exactly the same results, but this time we're going to work with data that's in columnar format rather than table format, okay? So I'm going to do a chi-square test of independence on these two columns of data right here, okay? So to do that, I go to add-ins and I drag over to Megastat. I click on Megastat. I drag down to chi-square / crosstabs. But now, since I have to work with columnar data rather than data that's already been tabled, I drag down to cross-tabulation and I click on cross-tabulation. Let me clear this out so you can see how we fill in everything. Now look closely here. It asks for information about our row variable and it asks for information about our column variable. So for my data range for my row variable, I'm going to use gender as my row variable. And there's something I'm going to show you as I build this. Okay? And then for my data range for my column variable, let me move this. The data range for my column variable, I'm going to click on my column header for own an iPad or not, and I'm going to highlight all of the data. And you should recognize these two left columns in this table here as two-level nominal variable. And for the I should mention here now I'm going to work on my specification range for my row variable. Okay. Now my specification range, it just tells me what does 1 mean, what does 0 mean. So here 1 means yes and 0 means no. So I just highlight. Notice here though I didn't highlight. Oops. Let me do that. I made a mistake. Just goes to show you, teachers make goofs too. My row variable is gender. So down here, with gender, 1 means female, 0 means male. But notice I did not highlight my gender column header. I do that with my data table, but not with my specification range. And then the specification range, I click in that box for my column variable, which is whether or not you own an iPad. And again, I highlight yes and no. I highlight 1 and 0. I do not highlight the word iPad. But for my column of owning an iPad, yes or no, 1 means yes, 0 means no. I'm going to ask for my percent row, percent column, percent total. I'm going to ask for my contingency. And I should get exactly the same results with this as I got when we used the cross-tabulation table. And Shazam, we get exactly the same answer. P-value 0.0369, contingency coefficient 0.208. Let me take you up to the, oops, let me get rid of some rows here. Delete entire row. And you see here that the p-values are exactly the same and the contingency coefficients as is the chi-square test. Okay, so whether we work with data that's already been tabled or whether we work with data that's in columnar format, we come up with exactly the same answer. This answer exactly matches this answer. Okay? Thank you.